Pull the llama.
Huzzah! Hello, everyone. Happy New Year! It
Happy New
is,
Year.
woohoo! It is the Alpenglow Industries Solder Sesh, woohoo! And we have Jorvon Moss, also known as
Hello.
Ante.
Your favorite oddity here.
Woohoo! Our favorite oddity, absolutely. And welcome to the show. Super excited to have you on. Thanks so much for helping us like ring in the new year with some awesomeness.
Eh, it's the least I could do. It's
You
very
know, you
casual.
know.
Very casual.
So, I most people already know that you make fantastic bots,
Yes.
and yes, and all sorts of companion bots, and you're really good at infusing bots with personality and character and life.
Hmm.
And you also gave a really cool talk at SuperCon recently about like the illusion of life in robots, and that I thought was really interesting. And I keep going back to the comment you made about R2D2 being a trash can, and now I can't unsee that.
I
So
mean,
true.
it's true. I mean, sad to say it. He's just a trash can.
He's just a trash can.
Like,
Oh,
I mean, technically, BB-8's a beach ball.
right. So tell us how you got into this crazy place that you're in, where you're making bots, you're working for Digi-Key, you're doing all sorts of cool stuff. What was your path into STEM like?
Okay, my path. Ooh,
Yeah,
man.
the twistier the better.
Yeah, because I don't have a straightforward path into STEM. I don't know how everyone else did it, but mine's was chaotic to say the least. I want to say very much so.
Dude, I went to school. I did like this 4-year thing, and my path still has not been a straight line, nowhere near it. So,
Yeah, but I went 4 years in school for art school. I have an illustration degree. I don't have an engineering degree, a math degree, a geometry degree, a physics degree. Any degree in the sciences I do not have or own. Yet I build robots for a living.
woohoo! I love it.
So
More than one path. More than one path.
yeah, I like to believe I carved out my own
Heck
very
yeah.
much through pain and cuts and explosions, especially the
Ooh.
explosion parts.
Oh, I definitely want to hear about those.
Oh yeah, no, because I started learning back in college because since drawing was like my full time job at that point, other than doing my side job to pay for like life in San Francisco. San Francisco is like very expensive when you're a college student. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, I had to just teach myself. So like when I had spare money, I would just go and buy servos and stuff like that. Um, Back then there was a Radio Shack. If you don't know what Radio Shack is, you're too young. Um, But the first time I actually got to play with a servo, because I didn't know how servos worked, or if a microcontroller was needed, I thought you just plugged it in and it goes. So I went ahead and got a cheap servo, a micro servo, and then I got a 12 AA battery pack, and I got a breadboard, and I wired the servo directly to the 12 battery pack, and the servo instantly exploded.
So, what did you think in that instant? Were you super dejected and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm never going to understand any of this," or was it just like, "Huh, that's interesting."
Pretty much that happened. I think my roommate was more upset than I was because the fire alarm went off, but I was kind of like, well, something went wrong, apparently. I have no idea what, but hey, this is the start.
Cool. So what did you do to figure out what went wrong?
I kept trying and seeing what I missed. I went on the internet, it was like Google servo movements, and then I was like, oh, and a lot of these videos, they're using some type of controller. I don't have a controller. I didn't think back then it was actually the power source that overpowered the servo and stuff because Ohm's law didn't hit me yet until much later.
Okay.
Um, but most of that was just like internet. On the internet, it's like okay, let's see what went wrong, pretty much. And then when I realized that I gave it too much power, plus I needed a microcontroller, I started going from there.
Nice.
And of course, I found the Raspberry Pi first. I think Raspberry Pi was my first controller board. That's when I first started playing with it. But yeah, that's how that started. That's how the adventure started.
Nice. Nice. So what was the first thing that you built?
I still have it actually. If you want, well, it's the first thing I built, like physically, or like built as in like makery, because like I have different versions of
Built. Okay, I want to hear both actually. But what I was asking was what I meant to ask is like the first thing that you built that had electronics in it.
Oh yeah, it was just a simple RC toy motor. I can actually show you if you want to see it really quick.
Yeah. Absolutely. We got time. We got time. We got stories. This is all good. Love it.
I still keep it because memories are important. Mm-hmm. But the first makery thing I made was this little guy.
Oh my god!
Oh, it works.
Ah!
That's it. Just that's all it does. That and it's supposed to like light up. The light up LEDs seems to have died, but the head still moves.
Awesome. That is super cool. I love the little legs too.
Yeah, it was like a little box bot that you can like 3D print, but then I customized it by chopping off the head and then designing my own head for it. Like I taught myself CADing as well, which looking at this now, I can see a lot of errors now. But yeah, I had to save up for my first 3D printer. My first 3D printer was like a Flash Forge 3D printer, and that printer cost like $500 back then.
Yeah.
And money was tight, so I had to save up for like a year to finally get one. And during that time, since I was in art school, I was able to get the free Fusion 360 student profile. So I got student stuff, and I was able to play with it for free. And I ended up teaching myself Fusion 360 and 3D printing.
Nice. I was actually going to ask what software you use, and that surprises me a little bit because I feel like there's some software that is more friendly to people with design backgrounds, and some software that is more friendly to people with engineering backgrounds. And I guess Fusion does a little bit of both though, but I think of Fusion as more of like a dimensional modeling program, whereas like I feel like things like SketchUp are a little more design friendly, where you don't have to necessarily like have your geometry set before you make something.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
How's the learning curve for you?
Well, the thing is that I didn't know what I was doing. So like I didn't have a pre-preference. I didn't come in with like that bias of like being told that you need to know this or being told to know that. Yeah. Everyone around me were artists. Like we were all drawing and doing animation and stuff like that, and some stop motion stuff. There's some stop motion students too who got to like tinker with stuff, but they never like did this type of electronic work. So I had no idea, or I didn't have anyone telling me I shouldn't use this, I should use that, or doing this or doing that. I just jumped into whatever I can get my hands on.
Nice. Yeah, well, not knowing anything is how we all start. So
I feel like not knowing things, but admitting that you don't know things and not afraid to learn is like a superpower, because I didn't have anything that could be really broken, nor was I on the internet at the time to be like pushed around by internet humans. So I kind of just did my own thing of being like, oh, I want to learn how to do this. Cool. Let me just read up on it and learn how to do stuff. And since I was no one in particular, I didn't have to worry about trolls or any like discrimination thing. I was just like, hey, I'm learning to be learning.
Nice. Yeah, it is nice to have like a degree of anonymity for sure. And sometimes I miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even have like the following that you do, so. Yeah.
With great power comes great trolls.
What do you use to kill trolls?
I kind of let them just sit around and fester. Like I don't have a problem with trolls because the fact that they're commenting is actually doing more help for me than them. And I've gotten to the point where people started randomly defending me in the comment section. So like, I don't even have to do anything anymore. I'm just like, all right, I stay there. And then someone else will see it and be like, you're an evil person. Like, right.
But in a mythology sense, how do you kill trolls in a mythological sense? They come out from under the bridge.
Yeah, with the sword, right?
I guess there's not like a specific thing that does them in, like, stakes with vampires and silver bullets for werewolves or something like that. There's not like, do you like catch them in a lie or something? Or I feel like
you solve their riddle.
You solve their riddle. Oh.
Wait, I have a better riddle than all that. Who built the bridge? Did they just build the bridge and just be like, oh, these humans built this bridge, I'm gonna hang out here now? Like, what?
I think so. I think so. I think that they just dwell under bridges. Yeah.
Like y'all may want to rebrand yourself as, bridge stealers than just troll bridges.
Okay, so you made your bot, and that was a cool positive experience.
Mhm.
And you were like, I need to make some more things.
Yeah, that
So
was like.
what happened then?
Well, after that, let's see. I was nearly the end of my college experience because I started learning how to do stuff in my junior year of college. It was like 20, I think 17, 16, I believe, was when I was done. Man, time flies when you're old. Anyway, um, after that, I decided to, because I figured out during my junior year that I really didn't want to be an artist. Nothing wrong with the arts. People
Mhm.
love the arts. Animation is great. I love watching cartoons even to this day. Um, the problem was I was going to be a comic book inker, and to be a comic book inker or work comic books in general, there's a hierarchy, and I didn't like the hierarchy.
Yeah.
One of my teachers at the time was working on a comic called Superman and Sons, which it was all about Superman's son, Cal. And one of the panels he used to come in class and show us was this very well inked panel of Connor Kent under this really inked tree. And he took a very delicate pen and he inked every leaf on that tree, like every leaf on that tree. It probably took him hours and it was just great. And we all loved it. We're like, this is a great panel, blah, blah, blah. But then the next day we came back to class, he had to redo it because he sent it to the penciler and the penciler didn't like it. So he just covered it all in like a giant black blob and hit it with some highlights. And I was like,
Oh.
I don't like that. And he kind of gave us the full like tutorial of like, yeah, if you draw comic books, depending on where you are in the hierarchy, depends on what you get to do and what you get to say, and also what you get paid. And I was like, I don't like the setup.
Yeah.
So kind of late to figure out I don't want to do this. But at that point, I was already in it. So I was like, I'm about to graduate soon. I might as well finish it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what ended up happening. So like after I graduated, I was like, all right, cool. I have to figure out what I want to do with my life now because I really don't want to draw for a living, yet I really do like science and making stuff. So I was looking into different things. I was looking into like toy shops, Mattel type of things, because like I was decent at CADing and stuff like that, but I was not a pro.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, heard back from no one because who is this random like art kid doing stuff like this? So instead, I was just bouncing around from job to job. I was doing retail. I was doing phone call people. I was doing stuff at events. I kept doing that, but during that time, during my free time, every time I ever had free time, I was just working on building stuff. I was working on learning. I was reading books upon physics, electricity, how certain things work. I went into full nerd study mode for like a good portion of my young 20s. It was just me reading stuff and just looking at books and stuff like that.
Which books helped you out the most?
Honestly, I want to say how science works and stuff like that, just like how basic science works. 'Cause once you figure out like Ohm's law and how electricity does certain things, everything started kind of coming together a little bit more and a little bit easier. But like, I have a huge library case in the corner of just like all of my maker books and science books because those I made a personal rule that any science or learning book I buy, that way if I ever need a refresher, I can go back and pull it out and be like, cool, let me see what I learned here. But that's what I kept doing. Like all my free time was to that. I didn't really play any video games. I didn't go out. I didn't have a clubbing stage. Probably should have had a clubbing stage. But like,
Never too late.
a bit too old now though. I don't know. Like my back is bad. That's
The
a
late
young
night
person sport.
more.
Yeah, I can't keep doing long nights like that. I can do probably once per week, but after that, I'm drained. I'm dead. But yeah, so like I just kept working on myself and kept working on ideas and like concepts, and it wasn't until I believe it was 2019, where I built my first Aussie robot, and that's where I started taking off from there because I didn't know much about social media. what ended up happening is Jen Foxbot. I had a social media account, my art social media, because in one of my classes they made us have an Instagram because they gave us the example if you're out at a party and someone wants to see your artwork, you can't go to your web profile, whatever. They want to see something faster, so they said Instagram. So if you go to a party, show them your Instagram, you can see all your art on your Instagram. Makes sense. I was using mine for that originally, but then I started posting like some of my little builds, like stuff like this little guy and small little knickknacks and stuff like that, and other things I was working on too. So I used to like sew little dolls together and stuff.
Nice.
So it was a whole bunch of random stuff. But Jen Foxbot found me on there, and they were like, "Hey, there's a makerspace in LA. You should go to it." And I was like, "I don't even know what a makerspace is." So I was feeling adventurous, and I ended up going to Crash Space in LA, in Culver City. Loved Crash Space. And that's kind of how things started really taking off because I started like hanging out with those people, and then every Tuesday they had like a show and tell where you can tell people what you're working on and kind of like have input on it, which really helped. And I kept coming back over and over again, making new stuff, trying new ideas, attempting new stuff. And around 2018, I believe it was 2017, 2018, I had saw Alex Glow's Archimedes, her wearable robot of the owl. And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's super cool! I want my own version of that," because I'm the weirdo who doesn't like copying stuff. So like, I don't do a lot of cosplay stuff, even though I love the art of cosplay. I don't do cosplay stuff because I feel like everyone does it. It doesn't have that much originality to me. So I always enjoy doing my own like style of things. Like I didn't want to make an owl, so I went through a whole bunch of stuff because I'm a sucker for storytelling and mythology. So I picked a spider from the storytell of Anansi from the African folklore.
Yeah.
And I built Aussie, my first wearable robot, and it was a spider bot. So I remember going to my makerspace at the time, and my friend Kevin was like, "This is super cool. You got to take a picture of it. Super cool." And I was like, "It's just a little thing I made. Nervous. Don't know how social media works." And he was just like, "Don't worry about it. I got you." He took a picture of it and then he posted it and then he tagged Alex in it on Twitter. Like I didn't have a Twitter back then. And that video blew up. And next thing I know, like people are like messaging me and emailing me, being like, "Where else can we see your work?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is cool. This is new." Like, "Oh, I didn't know I had a platform to do this. This is what social media is." So that's kind of how that started.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. And so you started making more bots, and you have some stuff up on Hackster, right?
I have stuff on Hackster. I have stuff on my Digi-Key account, of course. I have stuff on Instructables. I have a lot of stuff. I kind of post
tell us more
every.
about the Digi-Key account because I know that Digi-Key has a maker thing, and I kind of forget about it, and I feel like a lot of my friends are in the same boat. So tell us more about Digi-Key's platform for makers.
Yeah, Digi-Key has Make.io, which is their maker platform pretty much. So every time I make something, especially now since I work for Digi-Key almost a full year, woohoo! Every time I make something and I publish something, it goes there first. Also, other videos are there as well. We do stuff with Becky Stern. We do stuff with Hacksmith. So some of his stuff ends up there as well. It's just another great platform to be able to like look at stuff. And then of course we have links to all the parts that we use that you can buy from the Digi-Key store directly. That way you can be like, "Oh, if I want to make this, I'll just get all the stuff here and then go to the STL file, download the STL files, and then recopy the bill."
Cool. And anybody can make an account on maker.io and share stuff as well. Cool.
Anyone can do their thing. It's nice. You can have a blast.
Heck yeah. No, I need to check that out for sure because, well, time. So many things I want to do, and
know that feeling.
Time is so finite.
I've learned just to focus on one project at a time and then just put everything else on the back burner. Because I've tried juggling multiple projects and it's doable, but it stresses me out more, and I've noticed more problems end up happening if I focus on more than just one at a time. So I kind of have like a project list of like, we'll start with this project and we'll have a deadline until this time before we have to focus on the next project, and then we'll go from there. So nice. I have most of my projects signed up and ready already.
I admire your discipline for that. I don't
Thank
think I
my military father, because nothing says discipline than growing up with a military-based parent.
Oh, yep. I could see how that might be the case.
It was useful. I mean, as a kid, I wasn't happy about it, but as an adult, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of happy I had that.
Yeah. Yep. Uh, well, cool. So, yeah, how did your work for Digi-Key come about? What was like the path into doing that, and like tell us more about what you're specifically like doing for them.
Okay, so man, rewind the clock a bit. I wanted to be a full time maker after I learned that it was actually a job to be a full time maker. I didn't know that was a thing until 2018, I want to say, when I started hanging out with other makers and realizing that this is actually a job you can actually have. And
Mhm.
after that, I was just like, that's it. Base goal is there. That's career goal. That's what I want to do. I also learned a lot more about social media. I learned how that powerhouse goes. So I started, of course, getting my following up, learning how to post more, learning how to act for the camera. Um, and continuing on with the other crazy stuff. So what ended up happening is at my last job, I was working. We were a startup, and eventually we got bought.
Mhm.
At the time, I was going paycheck to paycheck because I don't come from a wealthy family. I'm pretty poor. So I was going paycheck to paycheck, so I couldn't really just go out on the limb and try to become a full time maker. I just
Yeah.
couldn't because I gotta pay bills, gotta be responsible. This is not one of those 1% dream stories where I'm like, I chased my dream and was homeless for 2 weeks. No, I wasn't living that life. I'm not that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so what
No,
happened is we
it's nice
got bought.
to like have stable housing, and that helps you that helps you be more productive and do better too. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
really hard to,
I
yeah.
never really understand those stories that they have where a person's like really legitly homeless for a good minute because they refuse to get any other job than their dream job. And I'm like, like I watched the Pursuit of Happiness, and I'm like, man, you couldn't be working at McDonald's while trying to do this. Like, I'm just saying, like, yo, why was doing double shifts, man? You could have been working at Mickey D's and just at night doing it. Everybody got their own path. I'm not here to judge. Point is, I was working there with them, and I was a full time manufacturer at the time, making the product over and over again. Luckily, since I have tech skills, I learned a lot from that job, and I thank them for all the time that I had. But once we got bought, I remember waking up in the middle of the night because I got an alert on my phone that something was up with my bank, which is like a panic to anybody.
Oh yeah.
But the panic was a huge deposit had been put in my account, and I was like, "What?" So like at 3 in the morning, I'm calling my bank, being like, "Hey, is everything all right? Like, what's happening?" Like, and they're like, "Oh no, you got a deposit from this company, blah blah blah." And it literally wasn't until I got to work talking to my coworkers. They're like, "Yeah, they just bought your the rest of your stock in the company," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So during that time, I had enough where I was like, all right, I can be okay for a little while. I was like thinking about it. It took me about 2 weeks, and then I decided to just resign from my position at work. I was like, you guys have been great job, thanks for everything, but I'm going to try to chase my dream.
Yeah.
So I made a very sappy post on Twitter, like anyone would. I posted a very dramatic, sappy post saying, "Hey, after all this time, I'm finally leaving my job. I'm going to try becoming a full time maker. It's what I wanted to do for years. It's been like the dream job as an adult for me. I want to do it. I want to do it. Blah blah blah." So after I posted that, I was thinking in my head like, "All right, I'm going to be probably on a budget for a little while, but that's fine. I'm gonna do my thing, get sponsors." I learned how YouTube worked because I had made friends with Alan and everyone else. So I was like, maybe I'll try that. But what ended up happening is Adafruit, of all people, reached out to me saying, "Hey, Digi-Key has this new like maker thing they're trying to do, and we think you'd be perfect for the job. Do you want to get in contact with them?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah, I would love that." And that's kind of how that started. So Adafruit, much love to you guys. Hope you're doing great with the new baby. Um, they're the
Yeah.
ones who reached out for Digi-Key for me and got me connected with them. And then I started talking with Digi-Key, and I'm like, yeah, we want to have a maker on staff because a lot of our people are more engineers, not really makers. And we need someone to be able to bridge that gap in between and help get some stuff out there and that whole thing.
Nice. Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I do for them. I build stuff. I show my face a lot on different things. I get stuff hyped up, you know, do little videos, little content creation for them here and there.
Nice.
I get to travel, which is nice. I've always want to travel for work, and I get to travel to work and do stuff with the company, and that's fun. It's great. I got to go to Italy, which
Nice.
never thought I was going to be in Italy. That was,
That's awesome.
yeah, like it was amazing. So like, yeah, I do that. I do a whole bunch of content creation. I make for them. I write my projects up. I do video content for them. When things happen, I connect them, let them know this is happening in the field, you know, that whole thing. So it's a whole bunch of juggling, but it's all stuff I was doing already. It's just now doing it for a company. So it's kind of feel like they're paying me to just be myself.
That's the best kind of job I think you can have.
I'm not filtered or anything. I just get to be myself. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is what living your dream feels like, huh? Still not enough. Netflix, I'm coming for you. No.
I like it.
But yeah, so that's what I do for Digi-Key. That's what we do. I'm working with them to get more stuff out. And even this year, my goal, especially what I started off with, I started this last year too in December, was to make a workshop bot for Digi-Key. Because when we go to events, we did this twice. We did one in Silicon, then we did one in SuperCon. And both of those events, Silicon, we did a cost making thing. We did the arc reactor, which was great.
I got mine.
And then SuperCon, we kind of just put some stuff together for our fields. But I personally was like, hey, we should have our own like workshop bot. That way we can have easy workshops when we do these events and not have to rely on cost making or things like that, which is nothing wrong with that. But like, I don't like having to worry about using a big company IP like Disney.
Yes.
Because Digi-Key is a very big company, and for some reason they don't like us one day and be like, hey, everything you have that has Marvel on it or even a title, you can't have it anymore. So
they are incredibly protective of their trademarks and characters and are pretty much known for going after anybody and anybody who uses them without permission. Yeah, for sure.
Well, unless they're small enough. If you're small enough, you can get away with it because it's free marketing. But once you get to like high numbers, then they're like, hey, and your DMs being like, where's our cut?
Yeah, even so, I think that there are enough people there that they have people that just their job is to like search Etsy and things like that for things that are infringing. I know, like not personally, but I'm in certain like crafting forums and stuff like that from like having one foot in the yarn industry. And I know every now and then there's like a post that's like, oh, well, Disney's going around and, you know.
Oh, yeah, no, if you remember.
Like interpretation of the Baby Yoda and.
Yeah, that's the one. As I remember that one, when Baby Yoda first came out and there were no toys for it yet. It was all over Etsy. And then out of nowhere, they came really hard being like, if you have anything that's this Mandalorian related, get rid of it because they come in for everybody.
Yeah, and like there were people who made, you know, crochet patterns and knitting patterns for like creating your own, and basically like you couldn't call it Yoda. I think you could get away with calling it a child because it's a like generic enough word that I don't think that they can actually trademark that, maybe, but they're Disney, who knows. But yeah, people were getting like takedowns left and right when it was obvious. It wasn't even artwork from them that they were using. It was, you know,
I saw it first.
Yeah, just a representation in a different medium.
I saw it firsthand when Pokemon Go first came out because I had friends who were printing out like Pokemon Go logos depending on what team you were. Because remember that was a whole thing going on back then. But I remember there was a con, I think it was LA Comic-Con, I think it was, that I went to right after Pokemon Go came out. And I remember they had people walking around telling the artists saying, if you have anything Pokemon Go related, you can't have it out. You can't sell it here. Yeah. So like, that's why I was like, hey, we need to have our own stuff that just has Digi-Key on it, because if anything happens, we can still be okay.
Yep. I like it. And so speaking of workshop bot, I love the arms on this. I love how wiggly and floppy they are. It's very satisfying.
Already. It's funny because this is the prototype that finally got approved. So yay, because my original prototype, which I made the video cover for and stuff like that, is still on my desk.
Yeah.
This one's based off of Sean because he's a friend, and now it just holds my screwdrivers and stuff that I use off in the small ones.
I love it. I love SpawnBot.
Yeah, he just like looks at me with his glasses all like judgy.
Judgy.
Judges me.
Oh, all right. So what should we do to get this guy together and going?
All right. Well, first I recommend putting in the servo horn in the bottom. So like, sorry, I'm trying to make sure the reflection is weird because I printed out in white PLA. Ooh. So like, I always attach a servo horn on the back of the legs, bottom of the legs. Legs.
Okay, got it. So it screws into the bottom.
Yep.
And with, let's see, grab some screwdrivers. Let's see. All right. And we got some.
Yeah, the reason we decided to go with this design was because I've noticed when we do workshops, not a lot of people are tech savvy in any way, shape, or form. The people who are tech savvy get this stuff done pretty fast. Like you and I remember Deborah during the the workshop we had Silicon, you guys breezed through it with no problem. But like everyone else who weren't tech savvy or didn't know how to use these type of items were very confused. So my main goal,
I'm gonna start this hole a little bit. The hole's printed a little small for me, I think, because my first layer kind of squishes out a little bit.
So you're using the tentacle legs. I can't really see.
Oh wait. Ooh, which? Hang on.
Yeah,
Where am I supposed to be putting this?
Tentacle legs.
Oh, tentacle legs. Other one.
Yeah, on the bottom of the tentacle leg.
Ah, I got it. So okay. So actually, do I need to screw it in, or does it just kind of?
You can fit it in there with the screw, but like I screw mines in because I'm paranoid and I've had too many accidents in my life. So.
Okay, so I don't think, but there aren't holes in here, so I think I'm just going to not screw it in for right now then, and just hope it stays snapped in. And we have a Tower Pro SP92R servo right there. Okay.
And that's what we're going to be using to make the head go back and forth. And you do want to put that in here and kind of screw it in into the cup head.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what square is for.
So, got it. Okay, I think I catch what's going on here. So this goes into there, and that screws in.
Yep.
But it goes. Okay.
It can go. I think it can go either or, but like I think it's designed to be on the outside. I believe. Yeah. Like, is it? It's been a while. No, inside. Sorry. It's been a while as I played with this. Inside. I had it right. I had it right. It's in the inside.
Okay, so it's on the inside and it's sticking through to the outside. Is there a preferred side for the wires to come out of, this way or that way?
I believe the wires are supposed to be heading on the left side of the face. If the hole is on the back, the wire should be on the left side. Aha.
Okay. Hole is. Okay, so if the hole is in the back, the wire should be on the left side. Okay, cool. Got it. Okay, and now you screwed this one in from the bottom. Got it. And that will be easier for me because the holes won't be closed from that side, I think.
Yeah, mine's printed kind of off level because I was in a rush to print this because I had another print that was taking 17 hours going.
Oh my gosh.
So like as soon as that was done, I started this, but I was like, I don't know sure if I have enough time. Let me put it on, very fast. High speed.
Yeah, it was nice. These didn't take that long to print. I mean, I think each of the big pieces took about like 3 to 3.5 hours.
Oh, good. Because my main goal for this especially was to like because I'm going to edit it as well in the future and add like different customizations that people can choose from.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way when we have someone sign up and we have like an online thing, being like, hey, sign up here or whatever, and get kits, we can know which parts to print. And then also if someone, let's say a teacher or some other one who wants to play in STEM, they can also take this and if they have a printer and they can print like out a set for like a class if they know ahead of time.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta concentrate.
Adaptability is very important.
My hands are too big to get this screw in this hole. Hang on.
I'm cheating and just using my electric screwdriver.
Oh, that is a really good
Do you want me to
idea.
grab ours? I think he's the one.
Electric screwdriver is the way to go, folks. It's the
I
best.
know. I know. I'm gonna try. Oh gosh. Okay, yes, please. I will take the electric screwdriver. Cheaty help.
I always have electric screwdriver, especially for small parts. I've been working with a lot of small parts recently because of the laser cutter. So like I've been all my equipment's currently next to me is all stuff designed for smaller parts.
Yeah, what have you been doing on the laser cutter?
I've been working on making something that is small yet strong. So I got lucky talking with Glowforge and getting a laser cutter, and thanks to that, I've been able to first learn what a laser cutter can do because you only usually have been using it for lenses because it like dilutes an LED perfectly.
Oh yeah.
But now I'm using it and learning how to use it to do smaller stuff, etching, and hopefully making a stronger robots with it, a stronger, smaller robots with it, because 3D printing can only be so strong at certain millimeters.
Yeah.
But laser cuts, depending on your size of the acrylic, can be super strong, which is what I'm aiming for.
Nice.
That way, I can make smaller robots to like crawl around and mess with people.
Like it. But you have an ethos that you don't like to make mean robots. You like to make friendly robots, right?
Yeah, I have a personal rule where I don't make like first I don't make humanoid robots. I try to avoid humanoid robots at like all cost, which is a weird thing to say, but it's true.
Right. Avoiding uncanny valley of humanoid things, yeah?
Yep, avoiding uncanny valley because it's uncanny valley. No one should be there. No one should be there anyway.
Blenster, Ben Hibben says hi. Hi, Ben. And Snoot Vid says, nice Spider-Bot origin story from a while ago. Thanks.
Yep, that's why Spider-Bot's my personal favorite. It's the one that got the career started at least.
Nice. Figure out what tiny little screwdriver head will work best for this guy. Okay. Haha. Cheater electric.
Electric is always the best. Stand by it.
Okay, got it.
Huh. I am realizing maybe this servo head was not the best. As we both tinker with this. I perfectly think it's a brilliant idea and perfect test case.
Exactly. It's always good to like have somebody else put together your stuff because you're like, oh yeah, that thing that I had no problem with, somebody else is struggling a little bit. Like I'm really struggling with this screw that is like closer to the
It's on the tray.
On the tray. No, that was the other one. No, this one on the seat. If it goes on the floor, it's just like never to be seen again.
Yeah, live and learn definitely when it comes to well, I have a personal rule where like if I make it once, it was luck. If I make it twice, then I know what I'm doing. Make it 3 times, then you're perfect at it. Because anyone can look up and make something once and get it to work just for like a video sake. But if you can make it more than once, then you know what you're doing.
I say the same thing. I've actually said to many people that any idiot can make one of something. And people get really upset when I say that because what do you mean? No, it takes. I'm like, yeah, but it's just one of something. Like, make 10 and then tell me, then get back to me. Make 100 and then get back to me. Make 1,000 of them and have to support them all. When they're out in the world and other people are using them, and it's at every step, it's a really different story and a different problem. All right. I got mine in.
Yeah, that's super. Just in case this may happen, because I'm not sure if you have the same servo arm that I do. If it doesn't fit in, because you're supposed to be able to easily just click them in, like I'm gonna try.
Yeah, mine clicks in.
Okay.
So and then this goes here, and then this should go like that. Yeah.
I can't see it.
Sorry. That. So this goes like this.
Yeah, then it should go like that. Yeah.
And that should go like that. Okay.
If for some reason your servo horn is not long enough, you can just unscrew it from the bottom and just put it in there and screw it in. Because I know I've had that issue before because I have a whole bunch of different servo arms laying around.
Got it.
In my defense, servo arms, they're awesome. So I have a lot.
Now the bottom part should kind of snap in onto
the servo. So like the way I test it is like if it slips on there, you can hear the servo turn.
Yeah.
There.
I'm thinking like
I had to switch mine to put it on the inside because I'm using a weird servo horn. So like it wasn't the ones that originally came with this.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So if yours is the same, just unscrew it from the bottom and then just put it in there on the top.
Well, right now, and I don't know if I'm interpreting this right. So this bottom is sitting on top of these.
Yes.
Is that correct? So it shouldn't. These two don't snap together. These just sit on top of each other. Okay. Okay. Cool. Then yeah, my servo horn is not going to reach out, I don't think.
Yeah, if not, then just put it on the inside.
Okay.
Just unscrew it until you put it on the inside. Like that happens. That's because the servo arm I had originally with this is the one that comes with the entire setup. So that one reaches, but this one does not. It's a different servo arm.
I think that this should be the one that came with it, and it doesn't reach either. I don't think. But okay, cool. But okay.
I got it. A bunch of mini screws next to me because of all the small stuff I've been working with recently.
All right.
But once you attach that, then you have to screw in to make it touch the servo, and so I put the servo horn on the other side. And screwed it into the bottom.
And then screwed it into the bottom. I got it. I see what's going down. Okay, cool.
This is educational. I've actually never. Funny thing about it, I've actually never taught a workshop before at all. So like, this is new to me. Like designing was the first part, but now teaching is gonna have to be the second part. Because every time I've gone somewhere and explained my robots and like my designs, I've had the pleasure of being like, "Hey, this is how I did it. This is who I am," and then like letting people mess with it afterwards. Now come touch the robot. Like it's real simple and easy. I've never had the pleasure of just being like, "Oh, I'm going to be doing a workshop," and that's something I told myself I was going to be doing this year is doing the workshop.
Nice. Okay. I'm hoping
I did learn a lot from our workshop adventures.
Nice. I'm hoping that this will screw through the. I think that having modeling some holes in there for this.
We had
good.
I thought we did model some holes in there, but I guess not. Well, at least everyone knows why these are prototypes and the actual isn't out there yet, because we're still getting the kinks out. That way, no one has any problems.
No, this is like the first sneak peek, not as yet released.
Yeah, I've showed pictures of it, but like we've never actually like officially shared it with the internet.
Yeah.
Which we will, but it's just I'm the type of person that I won't release something onto the internet until I know that it's functional. Yes. Because, like we said before, making it once is easy, but doing it over and over again is a wholly different habit. And I've had angry people in my comment section before being like, "I've tried it and it didn't work, and blah blah blah, and you're awful, and blah 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 blah." I'm like, "All right, I apologize for being awful, but I'll try not to be awful?" ?
It is definitely a mixed bag, but yeah, we try when we release a new kit and stuff, we definitely spend a lot of time on the instructions, and it's generally like a 2-person process. Like I'll kind of start by putting one together, and then I'll show Robin how to do it, and then she'll take pictures and photos, and then I'll go over it again, and we'll also generally have one other person, sometimes if we have time, put it together and also feedback.
Just have many people review it over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like simple and easy.
that's also the nice thing about doing stuff based off of QR codes, because you can, as you get feedback with stuff, you can just update it. You can just update the web page and not have to worry about like printing out new instructions or things like that.
Yeah,
we definitely get feedback as stuff is out there and more people use it.
Yeah, when I remember working on my last job in manufacturing and stuff, one thing we were always surprised by was when something breaks and someone gives it back, and then we have to figure out how it broke.
Yes.
That's always the most fun part, is like figuring out how it broke.
How it broke, yeah. We do, for our yarn tools, we do, aha!
Yeah, heard the sound, yes. Now you just screw it in, too, if you want to make sure that it really holds in there. You can add the little screw in there to hold the servo arm in there with the servo.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
To put it kind of through.
To make sure it stays together, pretty much.
Right, got it. I don't know if I have something that will fit at this moment, so we'll just
come back to it later. There's no big.
Yeah.
So there's a small square in the back of this that you can probably see on yours better than mine. Yeah. But that's where the battery pack goes, and we designed it to hold a 3 AAA battery pack, I believe. Yeah.
Yep, so a 3 AA definitely.
3 AA.
So I think a AAA would also fit because there's room. Yeah.
AAA, AA battery pack, and then the hole there is actually for the switch, so like I can reach the switch from this. But
nice. Yeah, we have a 2 AAA because that's how we're rolling, but you can still see.
Yeah, see that's perfect.
Yeah,
exactly.
And yeah, we could just like tape it in.
And then it's perfect for pulling out when you're having to like change batteries if necessary.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm also going to be using a double battery pack because I don't have any more AAA batteries. So next is of course the head, which they have little slots in this that you kind of have to bend it a little bit, but to get the circuit board in here.
Okay. Yep. And does it matter? I assume
you want the power cord hole area to be out the most where the power cord is. So
yeah.
Where the one hole that comes out the most. I can't really see.
Our battery pack is not connectorized. So I think I'm just gonna wrap it right now. So
yeah. It works.
So yeah, ground and V out. And so this is an Adafruit Circuit Playground Express, and then there's also the Digi-Key version of it that you could use.
Yeah, the only main difference with the Digi-Key version is that it's just red. We color brand over here.
So I think, I'm gonna try to get it to a point where those two are at. Oh, I also want the USB out too, though, huh?
Yeah, the USB can be pointed on the because we have it pretty much where see if it. Yeah, there we go, camera. So the flat end here that like points outwards is where the USB would want to be.
Oh, nice. Okay. Got it.
And then
right there. So it's in between the little hold downs.
Yes.
Right there. Got it. Got it. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, then everything magically, look at that. So yeah, ground is out, V out is out.
Yeah, we did it for like we were going to use alligator clips. Like we have alligator clips for the servos for it, just because, like I said, it's a starter concept. And the one thing people like the most when it comes to these projects is they want to see something light up or they want to see something move.
Yeah.
So we did both for this, and that way people can use alligator clips because we didn't want to be responsible for soldering, because people who are very unexperienced with soldering have a history of hurting themselves. And we just don't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous about breaking these clips off. It's definitely tight.
We kind of went for a tight fit just because just in case kids get a hold of it.
Is there a better way of doing this? Oh, maybe
Fun fact, I'm still trying to do this right now.
Okay.
You're the only one. Trust me, I'm shoving this in here like, ugh.
Yeah, it is.
last time I did it, I kind of bent it a bit. I like was bending the PLA to like pop it in.
Pop it in. Oh, there we. Oh, okay. I got the trick.
See,
it's super easy when you know the trick. Okay, so
Yeah.
the trick is I put the USB side in first, like that. And then, and I think you could do it either way. From the bottom, what you do is you just flex it up just a little bit and it drops right in. Like hardly any force. And it's like, then it's held in perfect.
Yeah, it's showing that trick and teaching that trick is going to be the hard part.
That's not too bad, actually. That I think that's a pretty easy one to show, is to, because you can like push up with your thumb just a little bit just to flex it, and then it just snaps right in.
But yeah, that's the brand.
Yeah, that's clever. I like it.
I would like to give props to my friend Nate who came up with that one. I was just kind of there. He's the clever person who got this looking so pretty and being able to clip in very well. He's a genius. I give credit where credit's due. I don't take credit for everything. I'm not afraid to admit I had help.
Yeah, no, it's good to have help. It is definitely good to have help. I couldn't do half the things I do without the help of Robin here, for sure.
Wait. Okay. I know this is probably a bad joke, but does that mean you're Batman and that's your Robin?
Oh shit!
My entire life, I have heard that joke.
Oh,
sorry, not sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's kind of like me and Carrie and the Pig Blood and the Stephen King. Yeah. I get
Hey, I stand by Carrie. I enjoyed that movie, and honestly, those kids got what they deserved. That was a full-on plan to embarrass a nice girl who did nothing wrong to you guys.
Right. It's like like everybody in that movie like got what they deserved from my book. I'm like, you were horrible to this girl.
Except for the boyfriend and the nice girl.
Yeah.
The boyfriend and the nice girl, the only two people who didn't deserve that, because the boyfriend was actually shocked that this happened and mad, and then he got killed right after.
I actually don't remember what happened to him.
Yeah. There was one of the lighting stages things fell off while he was like yelling at people on stage, and he got knocked out, and they just started laughing. And then Carrie went full Carrie, so you know.
Yep. Sometimes you gotta go full Carrie. You just gotta.
Hey, when the entire school is that corrupt, I'm pulling Carrie. Because nobody was trying to help this girl except for literally this one couple.
Seriously.
Like, y'all all suck. How are y'all gonna let this happen in your school like this?
All right. So I just took some of these like pin to alligator clip thingies.
Oh, perfect.
And I think I got them. I don't know where I got them. I probably Adafruit carries them, and you can probably buy them on Digi-Key as well.
It does have them, and so does Adafruit.
So yeah, I just plugged them into my servo connector here, and they just kind of snug right in there. And I kept the colors the same so that hopefully I won't mess anything up.
Yeah, I've learned to do that intentionally because I've been told many times before that my wiring is awful and people can't see what the heck's happening. So if you ever wanted to like build something that messes with people's heads and they don't know about tech very much, just make it all different colors and wiring in there. Just make it very confusing. Just go full rainbow with it.
I like it. Well, it's kind of like the pre-bent jumper wires for solderless breadboards, like the things that look like little staples, basically.
Oh yeah.
It always upsets me. Oh yeah, these things, those things. It upsets me that, I mean, I understand that they're color coded according to length, and I understand how that is helpful, but it also makes it so that you cannot color code the signals of your circuit. You can't just like do red for power and black for ground and stuff like that. So yeah, one of these days I'm going to make like a kit of those that are actually, that allow you to color code your breadboard circuits. And I'm not going to make a lot of money off of it because that's the way
that's fine. I mean, I think it's something that's like, I wouldn't call it a big problem, but I find it a problem, or at least something that like irks my gears, is that a lot of my stuff that I post is always open source once it's like functional and working. Like I'm like, all right, this works, it's good, I put it out there. But I have so many people in my comment section trying to like DM me saying like, "Oh, you should sell this. You can make so much money and blah 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 blah." And I'm like, I'm not really doing this to be rich. Like, if I was doing this to get rich, I'd be making military contracts.
Yep. That's where I made my best money.
Like, yeah, like if I was looking to get rich, I'd be in the military contract. So like I don't know, it's one of those weird irks for me. It's one of my many small irks about some people who don't enjoy the making for the cost of making. They're like,
Well,
you should
I mean,
make money.
right, there is something to be said for trying to make a living at doing what you like, and if what you like is like manufacturing kind of maker things, that's kind of where I am a little bit, but it is not a get rich quick scheme. Oh my god.
Well, I think there's a difference between making money to like, suit your lifestyle,
Yes.
or making money just because they think it's a good idea and you should get rich. And I'm like,
yeah, no, a lot of people have assumptions about that, and they are kind of hilarious.
honestly,
I just stripped the ends off of these just a little bit more so that I can just clip to them. I mean, I could solder them in as well, but I'm going for the clip ethos right now in the context of the workshop.
Yeah, fine with me. As long as it works.
Bending them around a little bit so that they make better contact and hopefully don't short against each other. And I'm going to try to do the trick of one of the reasons that these move around on the front of alligator clips is so that you can like shove them up and kind of
hold them down.
Insulate. Well, make sure you can insulate the clip as much as you can, right? Like that.
I did not know that. Oh, that's what that's for. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it depends upon the clip. Some these little guys, it's not working super well. It's not staying put, but on some bigger ones, it tends to work a little bit better. It helps a little bit in any case.
As long as it helps, as they say.
Yeah.
I don't even know who they are, but they usually say a lot.
They do. They say a lot of things.
But no one actually explains who they are. What's up with that?
I'm just going to make sure that this is off right now. With my voltmeter here. Yes, indeed it is. Okay, cool.
I'm adding the alligator clips to mine currently. Having to move it around a little bit though, because I accidentally put the thing in here at the wrong angle. My defense, things happen.
They do. They do indeed.
Sometimes life finds a way.
Awesome.
There we go.
So
I've at least gotten better at the clip trick.
Nice. So how am I attaching these to the Circuit Playground Express?
So we have the opening on the bottoms for you can actually kind of see the holes, and then we try to alligator clip to those.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom, okay. And then you can like put it on like a hat.
Ah, right. So that the LEDs are sticking out the top. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. And so let's see.
It depends on, you should probably stop for a moment and figure out how you want your circuit to be.
Yeah.
Exactly. I usually go with like A1 as my analog signal for the servo.
Okay.
And then ground and volts from, the 3 volts or the Vout ground, like you would wire up any other servo in the universe.
How though? How am I wiring up the battery pack though?
See, this is where things got interesting because the battery pack. The battery pack for mine is the little clip thing. So like.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Goes over there, and then then that's how I get my battery power.
Now, okay, I'm not super familiar off the top of my head with the Circuit Playground Express. The out. Is that solely a voltage output, or can I wire battery voltage to that? Is it also a voltage input?
I believe it's also a voltage input. I'm not sure, but we can learn together.
Might blow something up today. Who knows?
What are the best days? Explosions happened. How can you get upset by that?
Could potentially look at the schematic too, but what fun is that?
Yeah,
all right.
What's the fun of trying new things? What
Uh,
did it say? Mag school bus, make mistakes, get messy.
And so you're hooking your servo up to V out. I wonder if the servo will run okay off of 3.3 volts instead.
I believe so. Yeah, one servo should be able to run 3 volts.
Okay. And middle red is always the servo voltage. And then black is ground. Where do I want to put that one? I'll put that one over there. And then make sure that I'm not, yes, okay. And so I'll put that one there. And then A1 is right next to it. I believe that's a 1. Yes. Yeah, A7's over there. Okay. There. Yeah, that's nice. This I like how the clips fit here. It's really nice. There's enough room to get them in, and I feel like the plastic part helps kind of keep them in a little bit. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Thanks my friend Nate for that one. Nate's great. If he ever sees this, he knows he's great. I'll forever hype him up.
All right. And then I'm gonna gently shove everything in. Maybe not fully shove yet, just
not fully shoved yet. You still have to cold the board. Which for this we use block code.
Woohoo! All right. And so going to Adafruit.
Yep.
Adafruit. Makecode.adafruit.com. Yeah.
Yep.
And I am going to share my screen. And we'll do Chrome tab. That one. Yeah.
Haha.
Haha. Sweet. Okay. So are you going to, when the workshop comes out, I assume you'll have some code already written up that people can go to the URL and immediately just download it?
Yeah, we're definitely going to have that because, of course, not everyone wants to spend their free time coding and figuring out how block code works. I understand. I've been there before.
Yeah.
But for the basic one that I have, if you want to walk through it, I can definitely walk through it with you.
Yeah, totally. Let me take one quick break to just look at some of the chat. So Blenster says that teaching workshops is a privilege that brings him a lot of joy in life. Yeah, it's interesting. You should expand upon that, Ben, in the comments. I'm interested to hear more of why you say that.
Yeah, workshops are tough, man. They're
and he also got a box of goodies from Digi-Key today. Loves Digi-Key. Shout out for sure. Yes. And then Slootvid says, what about a plug that goes in the solder pad holes and does a pressure fit of the bare end wire against the solder pad? Oh, it would be a solder-free solution, like a little 3D printed plug or something like that. Yeah, I mean, you could, but honestly, the clip solution it's pretty easy. And it's pretty good.
I mean, it always depends on, I feel like it always depends on the level of the people that we're working with. I think that's the biggest reason why I chose something as simple as this.
Yeah. Because
we did have some issues during Silicon where some people were having a harder time than others comparing to putting it together. Because I noticed our second group that had you in it was a little bit faster at figuring everything out. Because Kevin didn't even get to the part where we had to assemble because he starts off with the programming when he's giving his. And by the time he was still talking about it, people were already figuring out how to assemble it on their own.
Yeah.
So we have a rule now that we always start with the assembly process first and then go into the code.
Yes. And yeah. So I try to be patient when I'm attending a workshop and let the instructor tell me what to do instead of just jumping right in. But it's funny because Deborah is definitely like a jump right in person. So she was like taking off, and then I was like, oh, well, wait, I don't want to get too far behind her.
That was one of my favorite people.
Like, all right, I'll just jump right in.
100% just jumps in. I'm just like, yeah, there we go. Just do your thing. Yeah, our first group was not that hands-on or understood tech that well, so they were having a lot more difficulties with everything compared to like our second group. Our second group, they're figuring out just from like looking at it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted that to be the same with this, where it's easily to figure out, but also easy to assemble really fast. Like this takes no time to put together once we have everything set up. And then going into the code, we'll have a code that'll have a URL for people. Then they can easily just click and drag it. But if not, we can go into the block code thing, which will have a picture of the block code where it's all up. Actually, am I allowed to share my screen with you really quickly? Am I allowed
I think so, yeah. Here, I'll stop presenting, and I think stop screen. And then you should be able to, there should be like a present button at the bottom, I think.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Give me a second. It's loading. Okay, screen, share screen 2, please. This
Okay.
is the basic code I have for this, pretty much, for this project. And it's just a simple on start, repeat 10 times, it'll show the ring. The servo will set to 0. It'll pause for a second, go to 180 degrees, pause another second, show the ring, and then go back to 0. So go back and forth. And then forever, the ring would stay certain colors and blink. So
nice. Okay.
It's simple block code.
Forever. Show ring, pause, show ring, and then right. And then there's the on start. Okay. Repeat 10 times, so it does a ring, and it got it. So it wiggles on start, and then does colors forever.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
I think the wiggles is very much important because once you see it moving, everyone's like, oh, it's cool now. So I made sure the wiggles happen first.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to try to reproduce that on my screen.
Oh, please do. That's why I wanted to put it up. That way you can easily copy it, and if you don't have to go through the click here, click here, click here, click here. That takes a while.
It does. I'm also just gonna do a screenshot so that I can.
Good. I have nothing.
Several screens up at once. All right. So on start, and let's see. We're going to loops. There we go. Repeat 10 times. And we're going to do the show ring light. There we go. Do show ring. And then let's see. The set is under variables.
The on start part or the set?
No, the set. The set.
It's in servos.
Oh, servos.
Yeah.
Why don't I have a servos?
Servos. Oh, if you don't have servos there, or if there's something wrong, you hit advanced and go to extensions. Then one should say servos, I believe.
Got it.
Mine.
No problem. Let's see. Servo. There we go. Micro server library. That's easy. Cool. Now I have servos. Excellent. There we go. Set servo A1. And you did angle to 0. Okay. And then pause. Where is?
Pause should be in loops, I believe.
There we go.
Pause is in.
Yeah. Pause.
So 1,000 of a second. So
1 second. Cool.
I've learned not to have me do it too fast because I had it one time for like 100 milliseconds and I didn't think it was working, but it was. It was just moving too fast.
Just so fast.
Like, I'm done. And I was like, oh, okay. That's not what I wanted.
And then you're setting servo to, is that 100 or 180?
180.
180. Okay.
180. Set servo to 180. That way it goes all the way back.
Got it. And then pause again. Okay, and then we're showing the ring again.
Yeah, you can change the ring colors as well, so you can go crazy with the ring colors.
Yeah. And then what is the last one? Setting the servo angle to 0.
Yeah, back to 0.
Back to 0. Can I copy and paste blocks? Can I do that? Hey, I can do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Look at that.
Makes job a lot easier. It's a really fun system once you understand it, because like when I first started messing with this had some difficulties, to say the least. But luckily Adafruit has a lot of tutorials from different amazing makers on how to mess with certain stuff and how to do certain things, as well as this one's perfect for touching as well too, because I have touch sensors built into this.
Yeah.
Well, I am a fan of that, so it has recently become one of my favorite boards. I'm using it in a few other projects as well. That way I can continue to expand upon it and learn more from it. So, you know. Nice. Well, illusion of life means being able to have some other lively things like, you know, touch sensors.
Yeah. No, that would be cool.
I learned that from Alex at SuperCon, when her raccoon, you can touch it and it will vibrate.
Oh my God. Her little, that little baby raccoon bot was amazing. Yeah. I loved how she would go up to people. She would be like, would you like to hold my baby? And of course, everybody was like, yes, yes.
Of course, who's going to say no to that?
Hold the baby. And then you would hold it, and it was like, and it was all wrapped in this like little snuggie thing. So
yep. The giant sock. Yep.
Yeah, and it was like, I think there was like a little warmer in there too, so a little heater in there maybe, so that it was actually warm. And so it was like warm and it vibrated, and it's just, you would watch somebody, and I know that I did this too, like you would grab it and then they'd go, oh, like, because it was vibrating, and then it was just like this like nice cuddly little warm thing. It was great.
Yep.
It definitely, like, bots are one of those things that when you get to see them and interact with them in person, that's like really where the magic happens, I think. That's when it's like, oh man, this thing is cool. I really want to make one, you know?
Yeah, I'm working on expanding the concept that I talked about at SuperCon this year, and like different videos to have more like a life to the illusion of life. But it's a slow process, but I'm working on touch sensors, making things more reactive, making things have more insight, responses. It's been a mission, but at the same time, it's been a very fun adventure.
Nice.
That back up for the people at home.
Cool. All right.
As I can see, all of my horrible tabs are up.
I think I got it.
Cool.
So
how do I stop presenting?
Go back to present at the bottom, and there'd be like a stop
sharing. Okay, cool.
Perfect. And so here I will now present what I got, just to confirm that I think that that's what it should look like.
Yep, that's it.
So I'm gonna be like that and do the unstart first, because that's how my brain thinks about it. Like, I don't know, just like left to right and doing the unstart stuff first. So we're wiggling 10 times and doing some colors. I'm just setting all of mine to, oh, I missed an LED on this one.
Missed the blue.
There we go. I'm just doing mine to all the same color, but changing the color up. And yeah, so wiggles a bunch, changes the colors up, and then just changes colors.
Yep, so you just have to hit download, which I will also
well, I have to plug it in first.
True, but you can't download the file before plugging it in.
Oh, really? Oh, download it to
my your computer. Yeah,
my computer.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that like there was a I think Deborah showed me a way of like doing it straight from the web interface to the thing, but
well, if there is one I have
yet to forget how that went. All right, so I just downloaded it.
Yep. So it should be in your downloads. You have to put your board in start booter mode, which is like just press the button once.
Yeah, nice. Adafruit. It's nice that Adafruit has those instructions right here too, so that when I forget later.
Trust me, it becomes second nature after a while.
Cool. All right. So press the reset button when it turns green. I'm ready to go. And then click and drag file onto Simple Boot. All right.
Hey.
And the reset button is this little guy in the middle. Okay. I guess you have to let go of it. Okay. Not just press. Got it. All right. So it's all green. And now Simple Boot.
Stop it.
And downloads.
Oh my god. I totally forgot that it can also be powered by USB, so it'll do that.
Okay, like, I knew that was going to happen, but it was still surprising.
It's currently being powered by the USB, but yeah, it does that instantaneously.
Excellent. I love it.
As you can see, it changes colors as well. So like,
Yep.
I just turned mine off again. I'm just turning it back on using the switch.
Nice. Oh, awesome. It's doing the thing. It's doing what we told it to do. I am going to add one more pause, which I think you had in there, or actually, no, I'm just going to change the order here. I want to set the servo angle to 180, and then I'm going to show the colors, and then I'm going to pause again. Because I noticed that the orange was just showing for that very brief period of time. Like it was just like flashing orange super quick at the end.
Yeah.
And I want it to be orange for that whole second. So
Do your thing. My batteries are currently dead, apparently, so I'm going to be using my computer to power this. In my defense, lithium ion's better. Stand by it. Anyway. Yeah, mine just does the turning thing currently, which I am.
Right. So, right. So I'm going to re-download it because I just changed it. And
move it. They like move it. And let the legs go crazy.
I love how the legs go. That's great. All right. That is awesome. Okay, so I just downloaded it again. Did I? No. Did I?
Yeah. Well, if you download it again, yeah, it's just saying your downloads, but you just have to bring copy the button and put it in bootloader book and then drag the new file over.
Yeah, and then. Oh, interesting. So, okay, hang on. Because it should just be waiting, right?
You can remove your finger now. Once it turned green, you're good.
Well, it didn't turn green. I'm a little confused about that, but okay. It's all good. All good. And then we'll take this one, but I need to rename it. Otherwise, it's not going to be happy.
They have the little --1, so you know.
Yeah, but I have to, is it going to be happy with like a, I don't know, space in the file name and stuff?
I haven't had a problem with it as of yet. I've had a few different ones.
Oh, interesting. That wasn't quite what I expected, but it's probably what I told it to do.
It becomes a bit interesting because everything is very precise, but at the end of the day, it definitely works. That's the part that's like my personal favorite, because like for this one, I have it doing this, but if I move
I see what
I move one of my other files over to one of my other projects, let me move one over. That's bright. Okay. Currently this thing's crazy bright, but like this program has a touch sensor on it, so if I touch this one, apparently, oh wait, wrong area. Yeah, it turns red and plays a little note because I was working with the touch sensor. So you can do a lot with this board. Like, it's just figuring out what you want to do with it.
Nice. I am going to, let's see. I want to just try to kind of shove this all in a little bit and maybe see how powering it with the battery goes.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. We're gonna let's see.
My battery currently died, so
I think I should do it up here because you'll get better leg action that way. All right, let's see if it explodes or not.
Bang! No, okay, sorry.
It's not exactly happy. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there it goes. Yep. It moved for a second.
I wonder if it's just not very happy with the combination of only 3 volts and.
I mean, it's a start. We just didn't have all the gear for this, but at the same time, it's nice to see what this is turning into.
Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. All right, I am going to kludge because that's what we do.
Kludge.
So if we battery pack both the V out and the servo, let's see if I can get this to.
You can do it.
Double clip it, maybe. Hang on. Okay. Let's see. So meanwhile, while I'm doing this, so Ben says that that he loves back to the workshop thing, that getting to watch that magic moment where somebody learns a new skill and suddenly feels like they can do a thing. He says that feeling accomplished and empowered is an experience you can't buy. And that's why he loves teaching workshops, to get to witness people have those moments.
That's fair. Yeah, that's all we're gonna. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm first time trying this. First time trying to get us having our own workshop for Digi-Key. I've never taught workshops before. Since my learning style was very unconventional, I don't even really know how to teach because I have an unconventional learning method.
Well, I think you got to just try it, right? I mean,
yeah, I think it's the only way.
Books and stuff, but like also just like doing it and experience is the best thing. I think you'll do great.
It's definitely trial and error. I feel like my learning style is trial and error, but it's trial and error without the bias of failure. Because I did bad in school all the way up till college. I was very much a D- student. I passed the class, but barely, constantly. And it wasn't until college where I had to pay for it.
Oh, wait, it works. For a second.
Did it once, and then it got stuck.
Press the button to reset it.
Yeah, let's see. Okay.
Oh, there we go. I heard it.
Oop.
Got one.
Got one. Got one on start. Yeah, it's definitely stuck because it's not going into the loop lights.
I guess we just need to give it more juice.
Well, yeah, I wonder if it's the AAAs. AAAs.
Let me yeah, let's try a lithium-ion battery. I love these guys.
I don't have one prepared, sadly. But yes, I think that yeah, definitely I think using the battery connector would help.
But haha, it still works.
Oh, this one has one on. Oh, check that out. Haha, Robin's coming to the rescue with another battery pack here. Let's see.
Of course. She's Robin.
Heck
The
yeah.
Girl Wonder. There's a whole series.
Cool. Okay, so it's off right now.
For your comic book geeks, yes, Robin was a girl once. Named Stephanie Brown. She's also known as a spoiler. But for a short time, she was Robin. For the comic book
For the comic books.
geeks, yeah.
Nice.
I still read comic books. Hey, I don't want to make them anymore, but I still go out of my way and read them here and there. At least some of them, because keeping up with comic books is very, very hard and taxing. Both mentally and kind of physically.
Okay, so I'm undoing our sad battery pack. Goodbye, sad battery pack.
Nice try, battery pack. We believed in you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because ours is just it's just a 2 AAA too, so it's only getting like 3 volts, which is probably why it's really really, really not very happy. And so, okay, so this is a 3x AAA. Okay, cool. Let us try that.
Oh, yeah, that one fits and everything. Perfect.
It's a little bit bad, but oh yeah, it's got a clip on the back, so it's like, yeah, we'll just like pile it in there. It'll be great.
Well, that's something also too why I wanted to have the head that color because or at least I printed mine in white because you can stuff stuff in there and make it work.
Yeah.
So like I'm going to stuff some LED strip into mine. That way it can actually glow. Let me just do that really quickly. La-di-da-di-da. Stuffing things in here. Because I can, because I'm an adult.
Okay.
Who allowed me to become an adult? I don't know. Here I am.
I know, right?
I wonder if there's actually a class or something that like turned you and kept you as a kid.
Into an adult.
Yeah, like
An actual adulting class.
actual adulting class. Like hypothetically, if it was like a weird magic system that like kept you as a child, they kept you like with the same mindset and ability of children, and you couldn't grow up until you pass a certain test, like an actual test to allow you to physically grow up. Like being
who are the gatekeepers of that is my question.
Good question. Yeah, because let's be real. Anytime things like that happen, it's going to be bad, regardless.
Right.
You can't. Humans can't trust other humans. What's wrong with you?
Oh yeah. Haha! Bring on the juice.
Yep. Yes. It's super cute.
Awesome.
That's the workout part. That's what we're trying to get it down to. That way, people can easily have these be given at events, and then we can teach classes with it, and it'll be a fun time.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so does it? I mean, okay, so you wouldn't get the jiggle, but hold on. You could also, yeah. Hold the bottom so the top moves.
Yeah, so I designed that as well because you can like draw on the face. That's why I like made it white originally.
Yeah. Yep.
So like, I put LEDs in here really quickly, just some like LED wire, and like now it's like really glowy. Just because you can.
Nice. Yeah.
So.
Oh, I like it.
It has different customizations you can happily do with it. That's why I love this board so much.
Nice.
You can just adapt and like make whatever you want out of and prototype. It's very perfect for fast prototyping ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It also works with servos and basic motors. Okay, I need to stop pressing that switch. Yeah, this is Digi-Key's workshop bot.
Woohoo! That's going to be an awesome workshop bot. I think it'll be a hit for sure. And I do like how there's a big blank space on it that you can draw on and like make eyes.
Yeah, that's what we did for the original one. Like, I put glasses on them, but like this is all drawn on.
Nice.
So like he just looks grumpy. So I put art degree in there. But yeah. It works. You can give it I did it with my friend too, and she turned hers into an aquarium. So she made it all blue and then painted some fish on it. So when they like rotate or something like that, it looked like the fish was driving it.
Nice.
So lots of imagination can be used for this, and that's what I was going for. I was thinking when I was designing this, I was thinking what's a simple thing that people who haven't done electronics, but also kids can easily jump into.
Yeah. Yeah.
You came with this.
I love it. And yeah, I mean, I like the drag and drop make code is really nice because it gets you started super quickly and easily on doing control. And even if the other thing that I like about it is that even if you don't know how to code, you're approaching programming for the first time, when you get the original demo code, you can look at it and like understand what's happening in it, and then you have something to start changing and adding to, and you can really just very quickly like dig into like doing different motions and slowing it down or speeding it up and seeing how that affects the character of your little bot. And yeah, big motions, small motions,
different lighting things. Like I even thought one time of just taking the head system and then flipping it upside down for the LEDs glow into the bottom of the robot, because it does flip upside down that way.
Oh yeah, there you go.
and then
Yeah,
you
that'd
get
be
the
cool.
rest of the robot glow from that.
Hmm.
So, like, there's different ways you can easily play with this and go crazy with it. So I was just trying my best to give them the best opportunity to start off with something simple that's not too crazy, because I've noticed a small issue of the things that I make are kind of like high expertise a little bit sometimes, because I am at that level and I don't really think of, reproduction value sometimes. I'm just having fun. Um, and the problem with that is they see that and they instantly think like, oh, I can build that really easily, right? And it's like, no, you have to start off from level 1. I am sorry. Like
Yep.
a video game, you gotta level up.
Yep.
I'm a higher level, sorry, but I got a lot of time and experience into this.
I got more experience in hit points, man.
And fires and and shockings and
better weapons, and like
overheating. Lots of experimentations. I have entire days dedicated with trying new things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Experimentation days are kind of my favorite, and I kind of my not too, because I had a few of those with the laser cutter. And it was like a whole day of me trying to get this certain mechanism working. So I would like spend all day just editing, cutting, editing, cutting, editing, cutting. And at the end of the day, I had nothing to show for it. Except a lot of time wasted and a lot of things I know that didn't work.
Yeah, but I mean, that's all part of R&D and development work, right? It is, and like going through a whole bunch of stuff and iterating and learning what doesn't work is just as important. Like that leads you to what does work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I feel like it's one of those things too, because like I make the joke constantly that like I can see why dumb people are pretty confident, because if you fail as often as we do, you'll learn not to be that confident sometimes. Like you know what can work. Like you'll know you're basically, yeah, this could work with this. Like this board could totally do this. Yeah. But when it comes to like trying something like, oh, I'm going to make this thing crawl.
Yeah.
Very low bar figuring out how that works. Lots of failure going into that. It's not going to work on your first attempt. If anything works on your first attempt, I count that as a luck thing.
It was either luck or you weren't pushing yourself hard enough.
Your code worked on your first try? Or who code you steal?
Maybe that means you knew what you were doing, but
there's an error in there somewhere. It got to be a syntax error somewhere in this code. Something was misspelled or mispronounced.
Heck yeah, love me those semicolons. Oh, Blunster said a Peter Pan sort of thing. Oh, what was that about? A Peter Pan sort of thing.
Peter Pan. I admit my Peter Pan knowledge is very limited because Peter Pan wasn't my favorite. I am a big fan of Tinkerbell, but that's for a wholly different reason.
I was Tinkerbell for Halloween once. Our suite in college dressed up as the whole Peter Pan crew. And so we went around trick-or-treating, and it was really funny because we went around trick-or-treating to like the nice neighborhoods around school, because we were like, these people will have the good candy, right? And they were like so confused because I don't know, for some reason, I guess that they weren't big trick-or-treater neighborhoods, or it might have just been like, you're not little kids.
I mean, could be true on all areas, but in my defense, I learned a long time ago that the best neighborhoods that go trick-or-treating on is usually the neighborhoods that are more family-based, so they're usually huge and stuff. So
yeah,
we used to have a rule from Long Beach into Torrance is where we would go trick-or-treating.
Nice.
Start in Long Beach, end up in Torrance, because they just knew everywhere to go.
That's awesome. Yeah, like trick-or-treating was not, well, it wasn't really a thing for me growing up because like, I grew up on an island, and the island was very mountainous and hilly. Like it's a small island, but it's completely not walkable because it just has so many steep hills everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so there's like one main town area where like there was sometimes like a little bit of trick-or-treating going on in there, but it wasn't a thing. And so part of the whole reason of doing it in college was to like have like legit trick-or-treating experience.
I can happily say most of my college life was boring because I started studying science, and all my free time was working, doing schoolwork, or learning something new. That's where I spent my college years. I don't have any cool, crazy college stories when it comes to like that because I decided to learn this.
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely learning a lot in college, but I was definitely taking some time to have fun too. Do not regret that.
I couldn't recall.
So Ben says that Peter Pan was in a reference to being young until you pass a test to become an adult.
Peter Pan would be a decisioner person for it. Okay.
But did he pass a test? Like, what did he? Well,
I think Robin Williams was in the movie Hook, and I think that was a whole thing about Peter Pan growing old. But even that one had some very questionable standards for growing up.
I was gonna say there's a difference between growing old and growing up.
Oh yeah, never technically grow up. It's nice to be childlike, but not childish.
Yes,
100%. Very small difference, but definitely have a big impact. I prefer to be childlike. I make jokes. I call my stuff I can't say the word. Doomahickeys and thingamajigs. I'm afraid about that, but I'm an adult, as in I'm responsible. I pay bills and make sure my work is done on time.
Yeah.
And I get to stay up all night if I want to. You realize it's not important when you're old.
Oh man.
And you're a kid, you're like, I have to stay up. Yeah, I'm gonna stay up all night. And you're an adult, you're just like, this is a bad idea. Why did I do this?
Oh my god, I have somehow never outgrown not wanting to go to sleep. Like to this day, I just like I don't want to go to bed. Like I'll be tired and I will be like, I should go to bed now. I need to go to bed now. But I never want to go to sleep. It's like I don't want to like have that day end or like have the time when I could be doing things, even if the thing is just reading a book. Like I don't want that to end.
I feel that, but I've noticed depending on how I feel in the morning depends on how my day usually goes. So yeah, I have forgotten about time because I'm stuck in a project, and then time just happens to go by, and then by the time I notice it's 1 a.m, and I'm like, oh crap, I should probably start heading to bed. But I've learned from past experience, humans are dumb when they stay up all night. It's just like the next day we just suck at everything.
Yep.
Without some sleep, without at least 4 to 5 hours of sleep to be functional. If you get none of that, then sorry, you're not going to be functional at all. Nope. Like everything is going to fly over your head. Don't try to code with that much sleep either, because it's just not a good time.
No. Don't believe the hacker movies.
Don't believe hacker movies at all. They sleep sometimes in there. You gotta just have that time.
Yeah.
We are designed to sleep. It's our rest period and gives our brain and body the ability to heal and repair itself, and also repair the brain for the next day. It's a useful method technically, but just not my favorite method. Personally, I prefer something like a little space pod or something, something more sci-fi-y.
Yeah, Cocoon. I would like
it. Sounds nice.
Yeah, just like.
Yeah, not be cold or anything like that. Just be all nice and warm. But the problem is if you like wake up in the cold morning and your place is cold and you're nice and warm, you don't want to get up. Like your bed just gets so warm.
That's a problem daily for me, pretty much. It's like, oh, it's cold outside of bed. Now I don't want to get out of it. I don't want to get into it in the first place. Now I don't want to leave.
Hey, one of my cheat codes is just to start printing stuff, because the more I start printing stuff, the faster my place warms up. So.
Yep. That's true. I actually, when I was doing a lot of printing in my house, I have one printer that is that has a heated bed, and that one's great. It's a FlashForge Creator Pro, and that's what I printed these guys on. But then I have these other printers that are they're like cheaper, and they don't have a frame or anything, and they don't have a heated bed. And I would actually have to warm my house up in the morning first before I printed, or else I wouldn't get good first layer adhesion.
See,
you get the ambient temperature up. Yeah.
I've only had that problem one time, and that was last year during that heat wave we were having, where
Oh,
my place became so hot, I was having thermal problems where my printer and everything was just too hot to go. So I had
yeah,
to wait until nightfall to print stuff.
good stuff.
So that was bad. That was a bad time. I'm not a fan of that. Hope that never happens again.
Yeah, it's hard to for me to sleep with the printers running too.
Same. I've
Yeah.
noticed I have to be kind of like taking a lot of like sleeping aids or something because if I don't beforehand, every time I hear something that's off, my brain wakes me up.
Yep. Yeah, when it
Yeah,
changes pitch or does a weird resonance or whatever, it was
yeah.
just
If
like,
I hear
oh,
like a skip or like goes
yeah,
something weird that doesn't sound right, if I hear something like plastic like peeling, my brain will activate and be like, check your printer. And I'm like, what's wrong? Hit a flashlight, check it really quickly. Are you okay?
yeah.
Yep,
The
that's how that works.
blaster. Cool. Well, awesome. This was super fun.
Thank you. I try. I'm hoping this gets out sometime soon, hopefully by February, if not sooner. Um, but yeah, this is going to be our workshop bod. So when we go to events from now on, we're just going to be our first runner up for projects. I'm going to have more customizable versions pretty soon, like Sean's glasses I have on his. I'm going to take that for people to have that and like be able to like print out their own customizations. That way, if they want to teach a class or something like that, they can like take these parts and be like, oh, mine's going to wear glasses. Mine's going to have a giant eye. Mine's going to have googly eyes. Googly eyes work very well with these.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so is Digi-Key gonna put together like a kit of parts for these so that people like maker spaces or something could like
That's what we're hoping to do. Most likely, that's what we're going to be doing, or at least have the list of stuff that you'll need.
yeah,
That way, people can just buy the parts and then print out the shell themselves if they want to do it
right.
that way.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna have all that listed and stuff. That way, anyone can like grab a few, grab a bunch, and then have what they need to make these.
Nice. Nice. I
Giving
know
back.
Digi-Key is doing like a PCB, like prototype PCB service now, which I totally have not tried out and will at some point. Is there any way to like order 3D printed parts through them at this point in time?
I don't think so. At
All
least
right.
not as far as I know. At least not yet. But
Not yet.
I don't think we do 3D printed parts as of yet. You may have to go to Shapeways or some other 3D printing company to like grab a few. But the more you print, the more easier, cheaper it's supposed to be anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, like definitely if you have a 3D printer, this is like super doable. And it was like, it was small enough to fit on like many different types of print beds, I think, and different sizes of printers and stuff. I was just thinking like if somebody wanted to make one but didn't have a 3D printer, like how would you go about collecting everything,
most libraries now have maker spaces with 3D printers. So
True. That's true. If you live near
visit your local library. Mhm.
Yep, library maker spaces. Yep.
Especially maker spaces. Like I cannot stress them, like especially if you're starting out and you really want to learn and stuff like that. Maker spaces, they help you. They'll give you motivation sometimes, and they're just great people usually. So I definitely recommend maker spaces because they will just get you into the maker world in general. You get to learn everything, you get to learn about people, get to learn about the events, get to go to some of the events. It's great.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's a good gateway into all things fun and techy and software-y and electronics-y and 3D printery, lasery.
It is our tech world. Make whatever you can imagine.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Well, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that's about it. Oh, so I do have one more question for you. So, so you've been pretty outspoken about like, wanting it would be nice to see more diversity in events and stuff. Do you have any like what is your wish list for people who are organizing events? Like what do you wish that they would do in order to get more diversity on board for like their speakers and people who are showcasing things and stuff like that?
Oh, that is easy. I want to answer that one. seek out the people who are in the industry. It's not that hard. It's like, I know a lot of people don't really think about that and stuff because I had my own thing with SuperCon this year or last year. It's not very hard to say, look at your speakers and your stuff and say, hey, we need more diversity. How about we go online, look up these people? Because we're all connected through Twitter. We're all connected through Twitter. You can always ask like, hey, who's some people that you want to see speak? And then look through that list and see like, oh, okay, this person, and go from there. It's not hard. We're everywhere. I feel like the not having a diverse anything anymore is a choice. Like let's be real. That's how I personally feel about it.
Yeah.
Not afraid to admit it. It's where I've run into a whole bunch of Black science people, Black makers, all people of different descents, stuff like that. Daniela, a Native American, great maker, does great robots. There's a whole bunch of us out there. The excuse you have to not have a diverse thing is no excuse. That's just it's lack of work. It's lack of effort.
It's laziness. Yeah.
Pure laziness. Laziness.
Yeah, and there are also great communities on Mastodon too, on Instagram. So it's not even like if you're not on Twitter or whatever, there's still other places that I feel like you can seek out pretty cool communities and diverse people. And I feel like just also starting early and starting with that as a priority when you're first organizing the event and like putting stuff out there is important too, because it's like, right, like with the whole SuperCon thing, it's like kind of hard to add stuff at the very end, right? Like, but if you went out there with that in mind and like maybe did some outreach for like local organizations, and there are definitely universities that have different student groups and, you know, NAACP.
There's people in STEM. There's people in everything. So Black Girls Code, because I found someone from that.
Yeah.
Like there's no excuse. I don't care how anyone says. I'm sorry. You just failed out of effort. You just failed because you didn't put any effort into it.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
That's what I would like if I had that wish. Just put some effort into it. It's not hard.
You had that magic wand, that magical Tinkerbell fairy dust.
It's not even a simple Google search. Just do like, who are some of the diverse makers, or like go on something and like, oh, what STEM groups are out there? Oh, the STEM group's in my area. Let's see who runs the STEM group who's in my area. Oh, let me reach out and give them an email and see if they have anyone they can recommend.
And there are also like other events in the space too, and you can see who was on their panel and stuff like that. But I think it basically takes a shift from people who are like, oh, if we just put it out on the website, people will come to us. I think it takes work to actively outreach and go seek people out, right?
Yeah.
And to actually make connections with other organizations and to do some work in finding out, who else is out there other than the people that are just like already in your audience that are coming to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I would wish. That's all I want. Just put in a little effort, guys. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Effort. A little bit.
Well, cool. Well, it has been awesome having you on. Is there anything else that you want to say, promote? Is there anything else coming up other than Digi-Key Workshop Bot that
currently, thus far, not yet. I am working on some stuff, but I'm not ready to share all that stuff yet because nothing's officially ready.
Love it.
So I have to get that stuff ready first before I started like sharing things. But I have more stuff coming out this year. I have more video content coming up. I'm doing more recordings. I'm going to be giving more advice / opinions on different stuff you can use to make different things, because I have my I call them my odd JPEGs of materials that people can like start latching on to. So I'm going to be doing some videos for that pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. They should be short videos because a lot easier for me to do shorts right now compared to like full on YouTube videos. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. Everything else is gotta wait till it happens.
Gotta follow you. Where can the people follow you?
I am on everything now, except for Facebook. I don't really do Facebook. I have a profile on Facebook, but that's more for like family. I don't even look at it anymore. But I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all OddJ, and I'm also on Mastodon now too, as OddJ. So you can find me on any of those platforms. I recommend following me on Instagram because I'm a lot more on Instagram recently, just because it's a lot more. What do you say? What's the word I'm looking for? It's a lot more controlled in comparison to its cousin Twitter.
Yep. Yep. Totally.
So I do post more on Instagram than I do on my other ones, but I do get back to people when I can. And yeah, that's pretty much where you can follow me.
Cool. Awesome. Well, this is super fun. Thank you so much for letting us like make one of your first workshop thoughts. So fun. Cool. We'll have to decorate it up and give it some faces and
give it some character.
Yeah. Yeah. It probably needs a name too.
Yeah, I would name it.
Yeah. All right. We'll have to work on that. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jay, and thank you everybody for joining. And I know that a bunch of people have mentioned to me also that they couldn't make it live, but are really stoked on the replay. So thank you all for watching the replay, whoever is watching the replay.
Hi, future people.
And see you all in the Makerverse.
See ya.
Woohoo.